It's Friday, May 10th. I'm Adam Walsh, and this is The Signal. Today's show is your entry point into the weekend. It's a conversation about music, the making of it, and being a performing artist in today's world. I've got a full house of talented people to chat with, and we're going to dip into some of their tunes. Like I said, it's Friday, right? But that said, if you're working this weekend, this show's still for you. If you are going into the weekend, it's for you. If you're not, for you as well. We've got a mixtape of commentary for you. So we've got, five people here in studio. Let's start with Ana Luisa Ramos. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
Good. So we got in touch because you got an album out, right?
Yes. On April 19th, my third solo album came out, Solaris.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Because we're emailing back and forth, I was like, I want to have you in for a chat. And then I was like, let's bring some more people in and let's circle around. So just tell us, everyone, just say hi, introduce yourselves, and Maria, we'll start with you. Tell everyone who you are, although everyone kind of knows who you are.
My name is Maria Cherwick. I'm a violinist and a fiddle player, and I just released an album with my band Jockey Special a couple months ago.
Congrats on that.
Thank you so much.
Next.
I'm Natasha Blackwood. I've got my second solo album coming out in May. I'm a songwriter, singer, and a saxophonist.
And then the duo.
Hey, how's it going? This is Nadia from Cuerpos. I play guitar and sing with the band, and we're here to talk about some tour plans that we have on the go and also some music that is coming your way.
Cool.
Yeah, my name's Francis, and I'm also one half of Cuerpos. Super excited to be here and to spill some unreleased information.
Oh, I love the teaser there. Do you want to get to that now, or do you want to wait? When do you want to get to it?
Maybe we can wait.
All right. Nadia's giving me this, which I think is wait. So,
I want to build up a little
Build
bit.
some suspense.
Build some suspense. Yeah. All right, because we're only 1 minute into the show, so you got to wait to get to this bit. The question I want to jump off with is for all of you. Anna, we'll start with you. What's it like when you're having a really good show? Because as a non-musician, I'm curious. Like when everything is working out, when you feel you're performing at your best, when the crowd is great, when the venue, when everything is working. Just describe that scene for me.
What do you mean, like how I feel?
You're just and paint the picture of what it would be like, how you feel, and then what it looks like.
When the sound is good.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
And then you can hear everything, and wow, I think wow, this is beautiful. And I think that when everyone's having a good time, like you look at the audience and they are happy, and your band, they are happy. I think that's pretty much it.
And what do you mean by when the sound is good?
When you can hear yourself, when there's like the right amount of reverb,
Yeah.
And when, I guess so. Yeah.
Anyone else want to build on this?
Yeah, I would just to build on the tech kind of side of it. I think that's so crucial. Having like your tech writer kind of taken care of when you show up to the venue and making sure everything's there, and like because we're just a two-piece, but we have a lot of different machines and like analog gear, electronic gear, a computer, guitar, bass, etc. So we have a big list of kind of demands for the promoter, right? So we have, all these tech inputs and the rider and all this stuff. So making sure all that's kind of set up when we get there just really calms everything down and allows us to get in the zone.
Yeah, and you got to be able to hear yourself when you're
exactly.
Yeah, playing, so then you play better.
Yeah, I think that for me is the energy. While I enjoy playing in a big stage, I am the kind of person I prefer to feel the audience. So I think that this is like more so in my experience growing up playing like in basements and punk bands and all kind of stuff. Like that's kind of like the energy I'm like more acquainted with and I feel more at home with. So if I have the capacity to stand in front of an audience person and they're enjoying and dancing to the music and I can connect with them and engage with them and sing to them, I think that that's when I feel the most connected when I'm making music. Yeah.
Very cool.
I would agree with the energy of it. I think there's something really special, like when you, like Anna said, like when you can tell that your band is having a good time, like it makes you have a good time, and you can tell that that your audience is engaged. Like personally, I find all those things then like encourage me to also play better and to, you know, take risks and even like try things that I maybe wouldn't be brave enough to try all the time. And it's like, it can be really rewarding. And then that continues to build the energy, like even more on top of that.
Cool. Natasha, what about you?
I think like I have like the opposite problem of cuerpos. I think where I have a lot of like acoustic instruments, but there's like a lot of them, and so things need to balance in a certain way. It's like upright bass, like it needs to be a certain way, it needs to be EQ'd a certain way, or it just turns into like mud in monitors. It's like even though it's a bass, you got to roll all the low end off so you can have the attack of it, because that's what upright bass sounds like. So there's a lot of like intricacy that goes into it, and I think for me in writing that songs, like the music needs to match the message of like what the song is about. And there's like, you know, there's a feeling. It's like, this song feels like this. I know you can't tell because we're on the radio, but I'm dancing right now. And so when you have that feeling and it's like the band is all locked in, you can hear each other, it's matching like the vibe of the song, and you look out into the audience and like they're vibing in the same way, like that's the best feeling in the world. And then it's like you don't really have to think too hard about what you're playing or what you're singing or whatever. You're just like, it's this synchronicity between the audience and everyone on the stage that like we're all just doing this thing together, and it's like something otherworldly almost. You can just kind of like go to that place. But yeah, it only really happens when the audience is like there with you, you know, and then you're just like, yeah, this is the meaning of life or something.
So it's not a control thing; it's a synchronicity type of a thing. Because sometimes I wonder if you're performing, there can be perhaps for some folks an element of control with a crowd too, right? Like if you, for what you're doing with the tempo of what you're playing and the music you're putting out for the whole feeling of an event, right? Like sometimes I feel like that with a conversation that I'm having. If I'm doing an interview and you feel really dialed in, you know, you're kind of driving the bus of where the conversation's going to go. But so do you ever feel that, or is it just this, it's the we're all in this together kind of thing and vibing together bit?
I think that there's 100% some of that, because we are experienced, like, you know, trying to make electronic music consumable to like live audiences. Like there's an element of like curation to the set. Yeah. So sometimes we don't start with like a punch in the face in energy, you know, like we kind of like work the audience in the way that like, you know, we tend to start our sets with like some type of ambient type situation to get people in the world of our music. I think that both Francis and I like really enjoy like, you know, more tripped out sounds and like just like psychedelia and all of that, and implementing that into an electronic live set, you know, kind of like serves us as a way to control that energy into the points that we want to. And eventually the pace kind of like builds up until the end of it, which are like the most like energy forward songs to like leave the audience like kind of like ready for a night out, you know?
Cool.
Yeah.
Can I add something?
Of course.
And when people sing with you, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you know my song and you know the lyrics. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
feeling.
amazing. Yeah.
I can't even imagine, right? Something that you sat down, created, wrote, put together, and then next thing you know, people are showing up, paying to see you, and then not only that, like singing the song that you created.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That sounds really cool. By the way, Cuerpos, congrats on the ECMA.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job. So who was at the ECMA? Because who was like? There's a bunch of you were there. What was it like?
Yeah, it was intense.
In PE. Right?
In Charlottetown.
Yeah.
It was really nice, pretty intense. So many things happening at the same time that you simply can't do everything. But this was my third ECMAs.
Okay.
And it's really nice because now I feel more comfortable, like being around so many new people. Yeah. and it's good because you start like knowing more people. Said, oh, how are you? You know, like we meet every year. You know, so that it's quite nice.
Yeah, so networking or just meeting up with folks that, and you like over each year, the longer you're here, that roster of folks you know and connect with in the music industry grows.
Yeah, but not only networking, but
being normal and nice in a person.
Yeah, like making new friends.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that's really nice, like making new friends from other provinces and all. Because I moved here almost 5 years ago, and then the pandemic started, and I couldn't do anything. So it's really nice, like being able to travel a little bit and meet new people, and like, of course, I even visited the NF Green Gables Museum after this series. It's good also too.
So that was nice?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it was quite, yeah.
Cool. It was my favorite book in university, so
Yeah.
but I never got to go to the museum. I've only been to PI
it's
once.
nice, yeah.
Okay. And it was you folks mentioned it was a surprise getting the win.
Yeah, absolute surprise. We're gearing up for like quite a busy summer, so we thought, taking that into consideration and just tour planning and all of that, because we do it all ourselves. Like we don't have booking agents or managers or anything, so it's a pretty hectic time. So we kind of sat this one out, and also, we had no idea of what was going to happen. But yeah, it was quite a shock to get that notification on Sunday while I was lying on the couch.
Yeah, because like Ana actually messaged me and she was like, "Congratulations, you guys won!" And I was like, "What? We won what?"
Like, we weren't even watching the stream or anything.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even know that
I
it
was
was
like cleaning my house or something,
Yeah.
and then Ana called. Ana messaged us, and then I saw Music NL tagging us in a post, and I was like, "Oh, we won this award!" And I called Francis, and I was like, "Yo, we won."
Like, won what?
Yeah, but no, it's a really nice feeling. I think that again, like this was born as a bedroom operation.
Yeah.
Something that we were doing right fresh after university, just looking for like spend some time and creative input in. And I think that life has just taken us to showcase our music into many different audiences. Last time we came here to CBC, we were chatting about our first tour in the mainland, which was a great time. I agree with you, Ana. Like, it's really nice to connect with people and expand your network, because, like, Newfoundland, beautiful place. Sometimes it's really isolating, to be showcasing the music in the same places, to the same crowds. And I do think that, like, the diversity and the variety is the spice of life. So I think that experience certainly generated networks and, like, helped us connect with people that, like, also make electronic music like we do, and just, like, gain insight too on, like, what's happening in the rest of this land too,
Yeah.
So yeah, good times.
And it was the global recording of the year, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
global recording of the year.
That you received while
Yeah.
cleaning it on your couch.
Yes. And honestly, like, I'm kind of glad, because, like, that was the word we received personally, because, like, some of the lyrics with Cuerpos, like, they mean different things, but, like, there's a specific song that I wrote, like, thinking about my immigration experience. So, like, I kind of like that was the award received.
Nice.
For the project.
Well, good job. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Were you at the ECMAs? No. Yes.
I
You were.
was, yeah.
How were they?
Oh, it was great. It was really busy. And I saw Ana, like, ships in the night, like, across from there's like a music, and I was like, see you from across the room, person that I work with all the time. And yeah, it was great. There was amazing performances, lots of really good information. It's really flat in Charlottetown. So we
Okay.
were like a 20-minute walk away. I was like, you're just walking around town. And it's so easy. It was really amazing. Yeah, so it was really great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I always wonder. I haven't been to like an award show like that, but I find it interesting talking to folks from the different experiences of like whether they're performing, who they're meeting, what the different events are like at them and stuff. Because it's always neat to see so many like folk, especially like the regional stuff too, right? You see everyone from like Atlantic Canada, like a lot of top folks getting together just to kind of perform music and celebrate it. It's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, I think one thing a lot of people don't even realize, and I don't even think I realized until I was like at my first one, that it's not just like a festival with all the performances. There's also like an industry conference. You
Yeah.
can go learn things in between. It's like, I can go learn about sync licensing and like how to get your music into movies, or like go talk to publishers. And I agree with what Nadia said about Newfoundland being a little bit isolating, because sometimes you go to these things and they're like, oh, when you talk to your publisher, when you talk to your label, when you talk to your agent, and I'm just like, does anybody have any of these things? I don't know if any of these things are in St. John's, so it really kind of opens your eyes to like a layer of the music industry that we don't always see around here. You say like in St. John's, like you just like walk down the road and like trip over a musician. There's just like these amazing musicians everywhere all the time, but there is like a certain layer of like the music industry that is not here. It's just like we're overflowing with talent and people creating new stuff all the time. But then a lot of people are just playing it for the same audiences like here locally all the time. So it's good to get out of Dodge once in a while and see what else is on the go.
If I can add, it was during 2 ECMAs ago that I met my publisher. I have a publishing.
Is it Vince?
Yeah, it's Vince.
I love him. I met him too. He loves jazz.
He loves jazz.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love this for us. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about the album.
So Solaris, the album, I started working on this album when my daughter was born, and I had a little bit of more time, right? Because I used to be held her all the time, but at the time I released my second album in 2021, and then I have a duo and an Eric, and we were recording this album in 2022. So I didn't think that I was going to record new music anytime soon, because come on, it's a lot of music, right? But I was so inspired by that moment, and so I started like writing lyrics in my phone, the notes, and I teach singing. So between classes, I always like play or I sing or do some exercises and all. And when I saw I had 10 songs ready, and I went, so maybe I should put an album together. And it was really nice because I was able to record the vocals and the guitars in Brigas. I did a music residency there last summer. But part of the project was also recorded or in Brazil or in Nashville in the U.S. So
Brigas, Brazil, Nashville. That's a great combo.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So Solaris means solar in Latin, and it's pretty much about love and the different forms of love. So self-love, love for a place, love for your child, for a romantic love, also about loving someone that's not here anymore. So that's why I thought about Solaris, because solar, the sun is essential to life, just like love, right? So, and I wanted also to bring the mother tongue to be present, and a name that would be easier in English and in Portuguese.
Yes,
because
right.
my last album was impossible to say in English, so I want to make things easier.
Yeah, I mean, I could nail Solaris. So yeah, there you go. And we're going to play a tune, Clouds, right? Yeah. You want to tell us briefly about it?
Yeah. So I wrote the song the first time that we visit Brazil after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so we were touring my home state. So we were driving like this 5-hour drive, and it was summer in Brazil, so January. And my mom, she was traveling with us, so this way she could stay with my daughter. And it was so beautiful. And São Paulo state, my home state, we have a lot of coffee fields or sugar cane or I don't know. And very tall green trees. So, and I was holding my daughter's head because she was sleeping and her head was falling down, and I was holding her head. And I was so happy because I was able to visit my family and to sing and to be in the summer. So I started like writing the lyrics in my phone. And when we arrived at the hotel, I had the music ready for a few years, and I couldn't find any lyrics for the song. And when I put them together, it works. So that's how Clouds came. Yeah.
All right. Well, and if you're watching on YouTube later for the posted one, the link will be at the bottom of the page for the podcast with the music so that you can listen to it. But if you're listening to the radio right now, you're in luck. Great song. Oh, my gosh. As we were listening to Ana Luisa Ramos there with Clouds, we were talking about coffee in Brazil and everything else. Right? Everyone around the table here on the signal. That's a fantastic song. Thanks for, yeah. And talk to us about coffee for a second, because everyone was talking about coffee and how great it is.
So I'm from the land of the coffee in Brazil. Yeah. Like the city anthem is like Ribeirão Preto, the land of the coffee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so coffee is...
It's the spot.
Yeah.
All right. So if we get down there, it's the spot to go for coffee. Maria Cherwick, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Tell us about your album.
So I'm really excited. I've obviously been, playing the fiddle for years, playing in lots of bands and stuff. But this was kind of my first time to really put out some of, my own tunes that I've written, and also kind of find other tunes from different places and different things that are special to me, and bring that all together. And I'm really fortunate that I've been living in Newfoundland for almost 9 years now, and over that time I've gotten to meet so many wonderful people in town, and so I had just the absolute dream of a lineup to record with me. I had Dwayne Andrews on board. He produced the album and helped me arrange all the tunes, as well as recording it and playing the guitar. I have Josh Ward playing bass. I have Darren Brown playing mandolin and banjo. I have Andrew Dale playing the bouzouki, and Aaron Collis playing the accordion.
Wow.
So it's a great lineup. You bet.
Team.
I feel so fortunate, and not only that they were all willing to be a part of it, but that they were all excited and enthusiastic about it. That was really special for me.
Dwayne Andrews has his fingertips on so much of the amazing stuff
my
he has produced in
goodness.
this province.
He is truly one of the most brilliant people I've ever met, and I was listening to recordings of his even before I lived in Newfoundland, and then when I moved here, I went to MUN to do my master's degree, and Dwayne was in my class at MUN. He was doing a master's of music at the same time as me, so we got to know each other a bit then, and we've gotten to play with each other in several different contexts over the years. Yeah, absolutely brilliant, and I can't speak highly enough to how much of this album is a product of his hard work and dedication.
And for your personal evolution, right? The last 2 years have been, I don't know what your word to use, different, right? Things have been going on. You've got these Ukrainian roots out west. You've been learning more, being brought into and part of and making stuff here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Plus, there's the influx of a Ukrainian diaspora with what's going on with the war, but the cultural connections that are happening. What's the last couple of years, plus the pandemic was thrown in there too. It's
my
a
goodness.
lot. But how is this for your musical influence and everything you're playing and performing?
Well, one thing that's really interesting is, when my family came to Newfoundland, we're third and fourth generation Ukrainian Canadians. So our family came almost 100 years ago, and we grew up in Western Canada, where there's a lot of Ukrainian community and Ukrainian people around, and coming to Newfoundland, where they're really there's a handful of other Ukrainian families that we kind of met over the years, but really not many people, because most people headed west because it was farmland, and that's it's the prairies are very similar to the landscape in Ukraine, and so that made sense for people to kind of move that direction.
Yeah, from one breadbasket to another.
Exactly. And so to, all of a sudden have, this huge influx of first of all, just, awareness, and, Ukraine was on the news all the time, and people kept reaching out to me and my family, because we were some of the only Ukrainian people that they knew, and now there's literally thousands of people, and I've had the pleasure to know, get to know and meet quite a few of them, and actually my friend Alla Melnichuk and I play together in a duo now. We play Ukrainian classical and folk music. So I've been, it has really shaped the direction. That's a brand new project that I 2 years ago would never have imagined to be possible. And then on top of that, we were talking at the beginning of the show about the energy you can get from interacting with an audience. And my band that I play in, the Kubasonics, when we started playing here, it was really interesting to watch people's reactions to Ukrainian music, most of whom had never heard anything like that before. And now to play shows, I organized a big event for Ukrainian Independence Day last summer, and to look out and see hundreds of people, wearing our traditional clothing and doing the dances and singing along to the songs is that's something that we've never experienced in Newfoundland up until this point. And it's, it's really emotional and wonderful and sad,
Everything,
all
yeah,
at the
of course.
same time. But yeah, it's been very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm just picturing that scene, right? Like the difference from before, then all of a sudden you look out and you're like, oh my
And I mean,
gosh.
people here were so appreciative, and in a way, it was very cool to play. I mentioned we were really involved in the Ukrainian community in Western Canada, and so I often performed Ukrainian music for other Ukrainians, and to come to Newfoundland and be performing that same music, not for Ukrainians, was cool because they appreciated it for different reasons.
Totally.
Just because the energy was good, or they
great
liked
music.
they liked how it sounded exactly, and it they liked it because it was good music, not because it was specifically Ukrainian. And now we kind of have the best of both worlds. We have people that appreciate it because it means something to them culturally, and then there's also the people that still just appreciate it because it's good music.
Yeah, and then folks just learning more about Ukrainian culture now too with
Absolutely.
everyone here, which is great. We're going to play. You want to set up the song we have?
Absolutely. That's actually a wonderful segue because this tune is actually, all three of these are tunes that I wrote, but I kind of drew on different influences. So the first two tunes I kind of wrote more in the style of the type of polka that you would hear played here in Newfoundland, is more in the kind of like traditional Irish, Newfoundland, Celtic sort of vibe. And then the final tune is in the style of a kolomeka, which is a Ukrainian dance tune. And we kind of experimented with blending these two together into a set, and it ended up working out really well.
Cool. All right, you're listening to The Signal. I'm Adam Walsh. It's a musical Friday. We've got a packed studio. You're just listening to Maria Cherwick there with some other musicians. That was recorded live off the floor.
It was recorded live off the floor. And that was something that Dwayne and I discussed in the kind of pre-production stages. Like, one thing that's really important to me is that kind of energy that you get when everybody is all playing the music together in real time at the same time versus, track by track in isolation booths and headphones and stuff. And so we really wanted to try to create that. And there's a certain level of, you have to be willing to live with however it does turn out. But especially, with the people that we had, all such, high caliber musicians, we knew that it was probably possible, and it turned out even better than I think we could have hoped.
And musicians used to playing some like Newfoundland trad.
Yeah.
Playing Ukrainian trad, which
Oh
is
my
awesome.
goodness! I genuinely cried the first time that happened, because I was like, this is like my Newfoundland friends are learning a Ukrainian tune that I wrote. It's so special.
That's so cool. Natasha, tell us about your album.
Sure. So my album is coming out on May the 31st. It's called Love Songs for Good Machines. There's 2 singles that are out now, and I have a video coming out next Friday.
Cool.
Which is exciting. And Amelia Curran produced my record, which is just totally bananas, and it still feels weird when I say it out loud, but it happened. And Dwayne Andrews plays on my record as well, so I have like a 8-piece jazz band playing some original songs that I wrote.
Wow.
Yeah, it's different. It's pop production with jazz instrumentation, and they're kind of essentially folk songs. So it's hard to know where it fits in. So, yeah.
And before we dip into it, just remind folks too, because like you're in a lot of different musical spaces, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Sure. I'm in like a all nations Indigenous-led band called Eastern Owl. It's like an all-women's group. So we play like First Nations hand drums. It's like a combination of like traditional Mi'kmaq songs and modern folk music. And then I also play in Jazz East. I also manage it, but it's like a traditional jazz orchestra. So we play traditional jazz music, but then we're also kind of getting into commissioning new works and like writing stuff and people in the band writing things. So it's been cool in the past couple of years. So yeah, so there's some large ensemble, super formal black tie things, and there's some and I do like session. I'm a saxophonist, is what I studied, so that I just like do session work, playing with people in pubs and bars and blues bands and like whatever. So sometimes people don't even realize it's me when they see me in different spaces doing different things. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a, I don't know, I'm like a chameleon, I guess, going around doing different things.
Sheila of all trades sort of thing, just here, there, everywhere. what's it like then to, like, if you're doing a session work, but then it's like, okay, no, now this is my own thing, and I'm stepping out, and it's me, and I'm in the spotlight here.
Oh, it's really strange, actually, because I've always really liked playing music and playing instruments and writing, and I've often doing arranging for people or helping people finish their own songs, and I'm really confident in playing instruments and writing, but actually talking is like one of the hardest parts. And I have ADHD, so some things are a bit more difficult for me, like maintaining eye contact with people or remembering what I was talking about when I'm telling the story. So just like talking to the audience and like being that person is like the trickiest part. I've shied away from it for a really long time. I'm turning 40 this year, and one of the nicest things about getting older, I find, is that I don't worry so much about like what people think or what I look like, or if I do the wrong thing. You kind of realize as you get older, like sometimes you can say the wrong thing, or you can be weird on stage, or you can trail off into oblivion, and then you can just laugh at yourself and you can move on, and nobody minds. Like none of it seems as make or break as it did when I was 20. So it's not that I'm any better at those things. It's just that I'm willing to let it go if it's not perfect. So it's made it a little bit easier to be like, I'm making a thing. This is my thing. Hope you don't hate it, you know? And then I'll go on and make something else maybe.
Well, I think the older we get, right? So when you're young, a weird kind of thing happens to you, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. But the older you get, a bunch more weird things keep going, and then you're like, relatively speaking, this is nowhere near as bad as the last time or other other times. You just get used to it, right? And you get more comfortable in just yourself and your skin and who you are.
Yeah, and you just get used to those things. And
sometimes embrace them.
Yeah, and it's great. And you realize, too, when you start working with people that you really admire, it's like, oh, they're kind of weird, too, and they're doing the thing, so I can do the thing, too. Like, I'm a little bit weird, too. You want to make a record? Yeah, let's do it. And just for example, I was a huge Amelia Curve fan. I still am. You know, when I was younger and all through high school, even going through jazz school, we, like, listen to those songs. Just like, yeah, they're so good. And then I had written this collection of songs, and they're there. And I was out in Deer Lake, just like my really musical family, and we were like sitting around the campfire. My sisters always sing Amelia Curran songs, and someone says, like, "Cause she's produced the Silver Wolf Band." I was like, "You know those guys?" I was like, "Yeah, I know those guys." I was like, "You know what? We like had a couple of drinks, right, in the shed," and I'm just like, "I could ask Amelia to produce my record." Like, I didn't even know her. She didn't know who I was, but I was like, just like a little bit of like liquid courage, I think, and I was just like emailed her from my phone on vacation to be like, "Look, you don't know me. I make songs. We can make songs together, whatever." And I remember like waking up the next morning and being like, "Oh my God, what did I do? Like, what did I do?" And I was so like devastated. And it was like took like 2 weeks to just write back. She's like, "Yeah, sure, sounds good. Let's make a record." I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Is that just how it works? Do you just ask people?"
I asked Dwayne Andrews to produce my album at the ship. At like 1 a.m. one night, and he said yes, and it was the liquid courage for sure. But
that was my second call. I was like, "Is that how it works?" Well, if that's the case, I'm going to write Dwayne Andrews then and be like, "Do you want to play guitar on my record?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." I was just like, "Oh my God, this is how people do it. You just ask." Yeah, and so that was a whole good old liquid courage. Anyway, learning things, you know.
There you go. If there's a lesson
full
today.
of nuggets of wisdom.
Don't be scared to ask.
Yeah, let's make that list.
Yeah, I was like, to turn it into there we go. We got 2 songs to pick. We've got Pleading Guilty or Who's It For? Which would you like to play?
You can play Pleading Guilty, sure, because there's a video coming out for this next week. So
next week. And where's this video going to drop? How do we find this video next week?
There's going to be an exclusive, so it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to come out, but there is like an exclusive release that's going to come out through a magazine. I have a publicist now. It's very strange, so I'm getting used to those things. So it's like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this yet.
Oh, well,
but yeah, it's going to be. It is going to be out on YouTube. So keep an eye on the socials and the things, and it's going to be out on Friday. And I can tell you a little nugget. You want to hear a little nugget about this song? Yeah. So I've been married for a super long time, like an absurdly long time, and it's just like shockingly good for how things go. And so it's getting touches to be like, "My God, you wrote this like really great breakup song. Like, what's on the go?" Like, yeah, right. I was like, "No, everything's normal." It's not a breakup song. The song is actually about housing.
Okay.
And like watching people around me struggle with housing, like working downtown and seeing people around. And so if there's a little nugget.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. have a listen. It's not about a breakup.
Not about a breakup. Natasha Blackwood, here we go.
Here comes that sun again. What can I say? How many moons will I wish away? I'm pleading guilty. Maybe I just had it hard. Glass to the keyhole, but you don't hear me at all. We're sharing nothing outside of these walls. I'm pleading guilty. Maybe it's just in my car. Maybe it's just in my car. There's no rise to glory. Where would you go? No red magic shoe. There's no place like home. How I've been living and how I get by. What's it to you? And if I should run again, where would I go? Would I be an angel out in the snow? I'm pleading guilty. Maybe I've just been let down. You can put me out, honey, but I'll still be around. There's no rise to glory. Where would you go? No red magic shoes. There's no place like home. How I've been living, and if I might die, what's worse of the two? And when they're done defending that devil they know, will I be an angel out in the snow? I'm pleading guilty. Or maybe I've just been let down. You can put me out, honey, but I'll still be around.
Natasha Blackwood there, Pleading Guilty. Great song.
Thank you.
Really. And no aggressive shaker in that one?
No aggressive shaker
All right.
in that one. Just some aggressive electric guitar.
There you go.
But we're into it, yeah.
No, it's great. I love it.
It was Humberto Piccoli, also from Brazil, playing on that one. Yeah.
Cool. I want to move over to a promise made at the beginning of the show by the duo Cuerpos. Francis, you gave a tease, Nadia. What's on the go? Here we go. Finally, we're fulfilling the promise.
Oh, fulfilling the promise.
Yeah, so I guess this is a bit of an exclusive, but we're going on tour in June, coming up actually in 2 weeks, starting at the end of May into June. We haven't officially announced it yet. We're going to announce probably next week.
Cool.
Just waiting on a couple of posters and stuff to come through, but we have all the dates confirmed and locked. So, I guess this is as good a time as any to
tour announced here at the Signal.
Announcement. So if you're in Calgary, you're gonna see us there for a weekend. We have a couple shows there. We cannot say where or when yet.
But in Calgary somewhere.
In Calgary, I know. There's a huge Newfoundland community spread across Canada. We always meet friends on tour, like we've seen in cities in Montreal, Toronto, like just meeting people from Newfoundland. So if you're in Calgary or someone from your family is in Calgary, tell them to come check us out, come say hi and ask us about the weather in Newfoundland or something. We're also going to be in Montreal playing at Barley System. So if you are also, from town, living in Montreal right now, come say hi. And we're also playing a big show in Pride, Toronto. We're going to be in a stage. Can you remind me the name of the street?
It's on Wellesley Street, so Wellesley and Yonge.
Yeah.
It's a Bud Light stage.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So this stage, we're really excited to be collaborating with Pride Toronto this year, as well as promoters named Line from Toronto, like trying to promote Latin culture and the Latin diaspora across Canada. So it's going to be a really awesome gig where we're going to see lots of, happiness, lots of queer joy through music and also through the audience to celebrate Pride. So that's going to be an awesome time. And then we recently announced this week, this really big gig coming up in August for us. Francis, maybe you want to talk about it too.
Yeah. It's going to be at Mutech, which is a big electronic music festival in Montreal. And this is the 25th anniversary of Mutech this year, so it's extra special to get invited this year. So the festival was founded in Montreal 25 years ago. I've been going for the past 2 years. It's really something very special and unique in Canada. It's spread around the world, so they have ones in Tokyo, Lisbon, Barcelona. But
cool.
Yeah, cool. And it's so funny because it's really amazing to experience all this, because when Francis and I started making music together, I didn't have a lot of world around electronic music. I didn't really have my toes dipped in that particular pond, but one of the things I came to learn was about this festival, and Francis was like, oh my god, all the DJs that are or electronic musicians that are renowned in their field, they really come and play this in Montreal, and and just being part of that and representing Newfoundland and our respective homes. It feels amazing. And on top of that, we also were selected to be part of their market program. So it's basically this networking / mentorship sort of a program that they have built for Canadian artists that they believe that they're export ready. So we are going to be working really hard over the next 2 months with mentorship from the Mutech team, and also just learning how to pitch ourselves to buyers. And this eventually could translate, hopefully next year, playing overseas or in bigger electronic venues and whatnot. They have partners from across the world. So
amazing. Well, congrats again. We're almost out of time. I want to play some of your music to bring us out, but quickly we'll whip around. Who's got shows coming up, and can you tell everyone when and where they are? So we'll start with Cuerpos. When's the next show?
May 18th at the Black Sheep and June 7th with Lanya Vanya at the Rock House.
Amazing. Ana Luisa Ramos, when's your next show?
I don't know, but I have shows. I have shows.
Yeah, they're coming.
Or as Anna or and Eric.
Yeah, they are coming.
They're coming. Yeah.
Check your socials, right?
Yes,
you're everywhere.
I have shows. Yes.
Maria.
So I'm actually really excited. I'm playing at the Arts and Culture Center here in St. John's tomorrow night with the Cubasonics.
Amazing.
We've been doing a little tour across the island. So if you're not up to anything tomorrow night, we still have some tickets available. Come check us out. This might be our only show around town for the spring and the summer. So
it promises to be a time and a half as always.
It'll be great. and then you can check Jockey Special out at the Newfoundland and Labrador Folk Festival.
Amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Natasha?
Well, I've got a couple of album release shows coming up. So the record comes out on May the 31st. And so on June the 2nd, Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. at Fred's Records, there's a in-store, all-ages, free release concert. And then June the 14th, we're playing the whole record at the Majestic Theater. Yeah, so we're pretty excited. We recorded in the Teraboo studio, so it's kind of cool to be at the Majestic too with like the team.
Very cool. And thank you for listening and to the show today, folks. I hope you enjoy your weekend. We're going to have Cuerpos bring us out with Nadi. It's On Dos Partes.
Dos Partes, that's the album.
The album, what's it? Okay, we've got a song from this. I don't know which one. So let's, as we start to play it, we're going to see which one it is.
Okay. Oh, that's Sueño Sin Fin.
Amazing. All right, thanks, folks. And thanks for everyone here in studio. And everyone, enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Yeah.